Welcome to another VeVe Digital Collectibles video. I'm Corey, and I'm very pleased to have with me today VeVe's co-founders, CEO David Yu and COO Dan Crothers. Gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time to come chat with us today.
Thanks,
Great
Corey.
to be here, Corey, as usual.
Thank you.
And today's going to be a business update, so we're going to kind of put our fingers on the pulse of VeVe and talk about some of the key things that have happened here in recent history. And I think the best place to start is with co-founders. An announcement went out recently, and I think it's important for people watching this to kind of know, what does it even mean to be founder-led? So David, could you talk to us a little bit about what that means?
Well, Corey, as founders, we built VeVe from the ground up, from a clear mission that is to redefine what digital collecting is all about. So no one understands the product, the community, and the long-term roadmap better than we do. So, part of that restructure for us is really streamlining the business around the core strength, which is our content, our technology, and our community. And being the founder-led, we are more able to be in touch direct with our communities.
Yeah, and if I can add to that, Corey, like David said, Dave and I have been here since day one, which is, geez, I don't know, what is it, Dave? Coming up like 8 years. 8 years now.
Feels like
it's been a wild ride, and we're very, very much looking forward to more wild rides in the future. But David and I have a lot of passion for collecting, a lot of passion for VeVe, a lot of passion for our community, and it's really important for us that we are right on the coalface of the business and really helping to guide that and drive it to where we think this digital future is going to be.
Fantastic. And speaking of driving, one of the interesting stories that you all told me in my early days was that whenever you started the business, you're in the back of taxi cabs with a laptop, putting together presentation decks as you went to go meet licensors for the very first time and sort of pitch this idea of digital collecting. And here we are all these years later. So I'm very curious to know, from, the David and Dan that were sitting in the backseat of a taxi cab to the David and Dan who are now talking to me, where's your vision at for the future of the platform right now? And David, can you take the lead on this one?
I still do that a lot with my pitch. I still do that with some of those light bulb idea. It comes when I'm traveling, when my brain's in the downtime. The mission is continue to thrive, to build that community, that, promoting that digital collecting on VeVe. In terms of that passion, it's still within us. I mean, there's no one day I go by I don't give my best. Sometimes we still go through that 16, 18-hour days. But what has changed a lot is that the resource that we have. We have a lot more resource in our hand that specialize in certain area to build that, what I call that core strength. And that going back to that content, the technology, and the most important is the community. We have teams and marketing personnel to help us to drive these divisions for us now.
Our vision from day one was always to bring the physical world of collecting into digital, and I think we're still very, very much on that same trajectory. But also, the exciting part of it, for me and Dave is also helping to build out this brand new industry. I mean, in many ways, VeVe will go down in history with the first appearance of so many favorite brands and IPs that the world knows. I mean, it's like, Marvel #1 when Spider-Man first came out in a comic, like, that's iconic. And that could have been a cool rhyme, actually. But, moving into the future, like future generations, if they want the first digital Batman, it's going to be, they're going to see that the provenance was on VeVe. And the way that technology has gone over the past sort of 10, 20 years, almost every industry has gone digital. So we're still very, very bullish, and that's still what gives us a lot of fire. And of course, we're passionate collectors.
Absolutely, Dan. And with things moving as fast as they often do, Let's talk a little bit about the shift to being co-founders and communication expectations for the community. You two are going to be taking on a lot more roles and responsibilities. I know from a head of content perspective, I kind of know how that's going to work, but coming from both of you, what are sort of your expectations moving forward? We'll start with David for this one.
Number one is regular update. Hopefully we'll be delivering something every quarter, or if not sooner. More product announcement with how we roll things out. Community meetup. I'm already endeavored to be in London as well as Lisbon with our first European show since 2023. I think that's the last time we did it. So a lot more transparency, as we always talk about. We regularly update on our social channels, and we'll continue to update that if any small business things that just need to update on. But quarterly is what we're aiming for a big community update.
Fantastic. And I know, Dan, you and I have been doing some VeVeverse updates. And so my assumption is moving forward, we'll be continuing those sort of tech updates from your end.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, over the past couple of years, David and I have been extremely busy. And a lot of those things have we've either resolved them or finished, whatever they were. And moving into the months ahead, we are going to have a little bit more time to get back to the community. David and I have always loved our community meetups and talking with the community. So, I've also said to you guys that people do want to get either myself or David on just to have a chat about collectibles or the future or whatever. We're more than open to that.
And I think that's going to be really essential to our collectors and our community, because whenever you're doing as many things as we are doing as a company, that communication element's really important to make sure people are aware of, just all the moving parts and pieces. Speaking of moving parts and pieces, Dan, can you talk to us a little bit about some of the innovations that we have going on, some of the things that we're working on, some of the targets we're trying to hit?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I guess for me, the biggest excitement about, going back to a founder-led approach is, really everybody who's been involved in the business up till now has built a very solid platform, and VeVe has so many cool features in there. And the main sort of objective, at least from my side anyway, moving forward, is number one, building on what we've got. Like, we've got a lot of great features. There's some stuff in there that I think can be tidied up, can be made like a little bit nicer, a little bit easier to use. So I really want to be focusing on building on what we have. And then secondly, it is really going to be around new user acquisition. We're really starting to come into a time now where NFTs are starting to get more widely accepted. I think I've spoken about the technology hype cycle on some of these videos before. And interestingly enough, I saw Devin Pfizer from OpenSea was also referring to how NFTs are basically starting to come up the slope into much more of this public awareness space. So new user acquisition is a massive feature on our roadmap now. And really, hopefully you guys can see over the coming months just improvements to all of the bits and features that we've got in the app.
For my part, for us is being more agile as founder lead. We're going to simplify the internal layers and enable us to really make fast decisions, experiment new things, and have the ability to pivot fast, which is very important when you're in this tight economic time. What we really also wanted to do is to ensure that the culture of our community first is being brought in. So I'm recentering on what matters the most. Our collectors being founder-led means we can stay closer to that community. We are able to be directly responding to your needs, your feedback, your expectations, and really cutting that noise and getting closer, to the collectors again. And the partnership is another one, allows me to, focus a lot more faster pace, looking for great opportunity and partnerships coming on board. And what else, the utility value with the VeVe digital collectibles. And really, what I'm looking forward to is the long-term vision, which is the same thing, building VeVe to be really a lifestyle thing on digital collecting.
Absolutely agree with you, David. I think May has been a good example of a lot of things coming together that both Dan and yourself are talking about in terms of features, user acquisition, a really amazing IP sort of coalescing into a really big moment, which we've had this May, and it's still going on with our Star Wars releases. Talk to me a little bit about your love of collecting and how we were able to sort of combine all of these drops, which were originally in different locations, into a single month and provide, instead of just, here's a one-off, but an actual user experience. Talk to me a little bit about that, David.
Well, we tried something different than what we did last May. May is traditionally celebrated for the Star Wars month, so it's really amazing that our team have come together to put together a program that throughout the whole month of May, and it's not just Star Wars, that we have dedicatedly built a launch pad where users who love fandom in Star Wars can basically come in and see what we have. The exciting thing is there's so many first appearance and so many world firsts, and talk about what's releasing this week is that the Stormtrooper helmet. It's the first time that you get to see the interior aspect of the design since the movie was ever introduced. Our ability now is focus on great content. The user growth is the key. We will continue to unlock that new fandom engagement through these type of activities we rolling out.
And on Star Wars, some really impressive statistics from that one, Dan. And I know how much you love the numbers and how pedantic you can be. Can you run us through some of the highlights that we've experienced so far? We still have a lot more Star Wars to come, but so far, give me some of those good numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's, real testament to the team, as we were discussing earlier, the landing page, the beautiful videos, Corey, that you and the team have made. I really love this part of the market and where we're heading with it for us, our existing users, but also new people coming in. And yeah, looking at the numbers, it was really amazing. Actually, the Troopers drop, we had the highest participation of user performance. I think it was since Punisher back in November, and then also the third highest gross retail sales since then as well. So really, really pleased with how that's kicked off. Mandalorian obviously has done very well as well. We were trying a little bit of a different drop model with that. So kudos again to the drop team for getting that kind of nailed down in quite a successful way. And then of course Grogu and the Pram. I mean, internally, right? We were all saying that one's just going to go straight away. And yeah, I was really, really pleased to see that sell out. And also just the positive commentary on it. Like our production team works very, very hard to get the IPs looking as accurate as possible. So it's always very rewarding to see the feedback when people are saying that everything just looks so good and so realistic.
We've sort of locked in the month of May with all of our Star Wars releases. Any hints to the future? Do you think this, I know for a fact it won't be the last campaign. I know we can't give solid tips, but should people be excited for some of the really cool IPs that are going to be coming? Do we have some surprises in the bag that we've kind of been holding back that might just roll into campaigns into the future?
Yeah, there's always nostalgia IPs we want to be bringing on. I was very privileged last week to see some of the IP that's in the work in progress. And we also want to start thinking outside the box. I'm always forward thinking on new partnerships, what else we could do. I think this quarter we have introduced the Stack R, the payments gone live. Now we're looking for other integration and partnerships in the foreseeable future that we'll be announcing here at VeVe.
With that, we're going to wrap out of this episode. Again, this is the first of many, so don't be too concerned if this felt a little short. You're going to be getting a lot more of these. And David, do you have anything you want to share with everyone that's watching?
Well, we just wanted to thank everyone for your support. Our journey will continue, and I'm looking forward to our next stop, which is going to be in London. There's a select group of users, community, we were going to meet up, so looking forward to that. Our NFC, Lisbon, both myself and Dan were going to be attending this. please come and visit us in our booth. And we are hosting another community event in one of the opening night of the NFC. Well, we haven't been back to Europe since, I believe, 2023. So this is going to be a big one, and looking forward to catch up with you guys all there.
Fantastic, David. Thank you so much for that. And Dan, do you have any parting words for everyone watching?
Yeah, just some words for our community, to be honest. Your loyalty, your creativity, your feedback, we love it all. You are the reason we do what we do. And also I want to thank our team, past and present, for continuing to really show up with purpose, with passion. There's always change in this ever-growing landscape, this ever-growing pathway to where we're heading. And really looking forward to, the successes of the future. Really we're here to stay and make this into the vision that David and I want it to be.
And that wraps up our May 2025 business update. We covered a lot of information today, but I want to assure all of you that our trajectory is always forwards and upwards. And a big part of us achieving that trajectory is that communication. So there's a lot of ways to communicate with us. You can follow us across all of our socials, which you can see at the bottom of the screen. We also have an amazing Discord channel. Like and subscribe on this channel for lots of video updates from myself, David, and Dan, other key members of the team. Beyond that, if you've got feedback, go to VeVe.me. Bottom right-hand corner, you're going to see the VeVe.me feedback widget. That can be used from everything from "this isn't working for me" or "I wish this was working more like this." So you can provide creature comfort improvement suggestions, as well as "I'm having actual issues." Beyond that, stay tuned. We're not going anywhere. And happy collecting.